and the ancestors are looking out for us. God haze is exposing them, man.
Okay, you see that chair right there? See how big it is?
Yeah.
Now look at the Pope chair under it. Scroll down, look at the Pope chair under it.
Never have it been made so clear.
Young TV. Young.
We running the game right now.
Young TV.
Time to take over.
Young
We the hottest in the game. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you just not tuned in.
TV.
Share, like on your Instagram, Facebook.
Young TV.
If you tuned in, we broadcasting live from 2030, baby.
Young TV. Young
Taking over the game, baby. Oh yeah.
Young TV.
Hit that like.
Young TV.
Get them likes up in the air, you heard me?
Young TV.
Ride by. Hotel Islam.
Young TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Flown lesson.
Young TV.
We could carry on a discussion for the whole hour. I want to try to get as many questions answered. So if you could limit it to one question, my answer, and then you can respond before you cut out. That would be. But you know, sometimes people start talking about certain stuff. What in the hell? Okay, now I do think I'm still in Facebook jail, so if they don't let y'all in, I'm trying to let people in now. Peace, God.
G bless OG.
What's up?
I seen you was live, so I figured I'd smoke one with you. We was doing the same thing.
Oh, you know how I do, man. You know,
Nah, you.
it's a 420. It's a 420 night. You know, late night red eye.
So we got some sacrament, a little sacrament. You feel me? 420.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was just.
you got any questions?
Shit. I don't know. I'm third generation 274. If that do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Big box.
You know.
215, 19.
I arrived around Milwaukee in Chicago area. What's that about? I mean, really, like ran around the cities around. What's that? 94.
That's what I was in the county in Cook County in 94.
And I got introduced to the culture. You know what I mean? Through my step family. You know what I mean? Jamal Joseph's my uncle. You know what I mean? That's the same as Pop. You feel me? I go by the name of Righteous. You know what I mean? But I'm familiar with you.
For sure.
And
yeah.
That man,
I'm ready.
I mean, if anything, ringing bells. I'm just trying to, you know, I'm just ringing bells right now. You feel me?
Hey, what Black Rob say? Coward ass niggas don't ring no bells. I've been snatching niggas up by their coat lapels.
I
Good.
like how you talk. You know what I'm saying? I call that spirit talk.
So look, I'm 7'4", but a lot of the light codes that we use to communicate with our people was learned from studying 5% doctrine, Nuwabian doctrine, um, Peace Stone doctrine. They all gave me their literature, right?
Damn.
And when I was able to become familiar with how each tribe communicated their higher knowledge, then a whole new world opened up to what I was looking at in the graffiti art, in the music, right? Because I started hearing stuff in the music that average person didn't hear, you
Yeah.
know. But that's from knowing so many different pieces to different parts of the culture. Because they all think we was supposed to be one tribe at one time. But we've been broke up into tribes since we've been here.
Yeah, and just to jump on that, I concur. And with my experience, like on my journey, like I said, it took me, to commune, with the bosses and the G's, and kept me on the right side. You know what I mean, and taught me, that knowledge. You know what I mean, but and I give that up to the Holy Spirit and the ancestors.
You know, my favorite law, my favorite law is aid and assist.
Mm-hmm. Aid and assist, right?
Aid and assist any and all righteous brother and any and all righteous endeavors.
G bless. Nah, but what you just said something real divine and real central to the understanding of what the whole community needs to start understanding of what we are experiencing through our senses on our journey and communion with the spirit, but I call the Holy Spirit, but I got that from my people. You feel me?
Yeah,
And my
that's
big
one of
brother.
Malachi. That's one of Malachi York names, Ruhu Kadush, the Holy Soul. Ain't that something? Yeah.
All right, Malachi. I got introduced to Malachi when I was 16. I was with the Geechees in Charleston, South Carolina, North Charleston to be exact, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this guy I was in high school, but this guy I used to work with, he was a young man though still, but he was in the Air Force. So he used to go out there, to the pyramids in Georgia all the time and come back and report back and give the pamphlets out. And I used to receive them. And I've been studying for a long time. You feel me? So I'm around 16. So I received Malachi's books. What it did was it just opened another portal and expanded my boundaries of looking at the universe, and seeing the truth. And that boy spit.
Yeah.
That boy, because he was spitting the same things I was learning. And this was the time we ain't had no internet this time. So
Yeah.
how did I learn? Well, one thing, first and foremost, my grandparents and my parents, where I come from, But then my father's library, you feel me? So, we had to do things like that. Like it was a secret thing. And we couldn't even talk to everybody about this stuff. You
Yeah.
know?
You know, we get taught that too. 'Cause you can't tell everybody everything all the time because everything ain't for everybody.
You still can, but the veil is more down, so we speak it. But I mean, it's time to speak. I guess the veil down. That's the answer. But yeah, back in the day, you couldn't even do it like this. We was real quiet about our things, and that gave us a lot of trauma, also. But it built a strength in us, those who endured, because a lot of what we went through especially say grandma and them boys had to go crazy. All the craziness going on around them. And while they was going crazy, because they were so talented and so gifted from the talents of the Most High, the true self, the senses. You know what I mean? And it was a battle against to keep them down and to keep them think they crazy because trying to keep a veil up. But they can't now, so we speak, and that's why I respect you and I see what's going on. And all them, they all know. I see them all eye. You see that eye? I'm talking a little bit, but I'm on the low still. You feel me?
For sure, for sure. You know how I
But
go.
I appreciate it. I
Right.
appreciate it, but I'm going to let you get to the people, and I'm going to just go ahead and smoke with you, man. Be blessed. I
For
appreciate
sure.
it.
Keep puffing. I'm take another caller in.
All right, and we in tune. I got you.
All right,
Be blessed. Peace. Salam.
boss. Okay, let's go in here. Go back to this was the first person, Keisha Williams. I sent you the invite. Hey,
Peace, Unc. How you doing?
how you doing? I'm doing great.
I'm doing. Question I wanted to ask. So Bobby Hemmett stated that the ones who are not us but look like us, the hidden hand, that they came at the beginning of creation, or they came when the original creation came.
Right.
My two questions are how and why.
Well, the how is they was a reflection of us becoming mortals,
Ah,
right? They just so what end up happening is, and when you create something, you're going to create an opposite, right? The
yes.
creator is responsible for his creation.
Mm,
So if you create a righteous being on the planet, the default, we in the law opposites, then
yes, sir.
the unrighteous will automatically manifest.
Okay.
Okay, that's the how. The other question was the why.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you need two opposing forces to propel the growth. You need the righteous to be encountered by unrighteousness in order to bring their righteousness to the surface. If you never confronted opposition, you have no way of knowing how strong you really are.
Factual.
So the why is to push us to become our best self while we overcome the snares and the traps that the unrighteous set in our path.
Okay.
So it's just a manifestation of universal law at work. So when righteous come, unrighteousness follow. When you try to do something good for people, other people gonna try to find something dirty about it, bad. They gonna try to tear your character down, everything they can to stop you from speaking the truth, standing in the position of right, because you're in the superior jurisdiction. Once you enter your power, they can't do nothing but fall in line with the order of the spiritual ranking system. Spirit artificial is at the bottom of the spiritual ranking system, but their power is opposite equivalent to the ones at the top.
Okay.
So the ones periodically will topple the ones at the top as soon as they fall off balance. The off balance part came with what we call genetic tampering. And this is what Bobby Hemmett referred to as the great debauchery.
Yes.
When they start messing with the human DNA, creating chimeras. Most people don't even know that at some point their DNA was tampered with and they got animal DNA fused with human DNA from laboratory experiments done in the Indus Valley. So now it's just like Genghis Khan DNA is in a sizable portion of all of the men on the planet, his Y chromosome.
That I did not know.
Yeah, Google it. It's easy to look up because
Absolutely, I will.
he was his family, the Khans, Genghis Khan, Kublai Khan, all them, they were the only ones making babies. So the bloodline carries the Y chromosome to a high percentage. But when you go to primordial Adam, primordial Adam has a definite date of about 60,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the common Y chromosome link all males on the planet have. Right? And so when you go back before primordial Adam, the number of men was so small on the planet that it was easy to lose a strain of Y chromosome because men was fewer than they are now. And women on the planet outnumber men just by gender alone, something like 4 or 6 to 1. But when you add in the gender confusion to it, then the numbers increase. And then you got to add up to all of the ones that defected from the societies and became monks. Then the number increases again. They become priests, vows of celibacy. So the choice picking for a lot of the women has been dwindled down to scraps and leftovers in the genetic pool. Yeah, so it's very few prime, genetically prime males for the women to have strong children into the future. Not a lot of them. It's a lot of guys can make babies, but a lot of them don't have what's called prime DNA or royal DNA.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that makes it where it's even fewer. The higher you go up in rank, it's even less men that's qualified for the women of the higher ranks. So this is when the women became polyandry, became polygamy. You used to have men trainers, and the women used to know how to use one man to make the other man act right in the relationship, and she had a harem of men. They called that condition polyandry. And this is how you dealt with domestic abusers. He had to live in those situations because if he put his hands on that woman, all the rest of the men gonna lump his ass up.
As they should.
Right. So, but only certain women were psychologically equipped to deal with a harem of men, and she knew how to use each one of them's position in order to keep the rest of them in line. That's not common. The average woman can't function under those conditions, and I call them nigga trainers. She turned a nigga into a man. And they not, and most of the men scared of them women. I'm talking about they don't want to touch her, they don't want to go by her. I'm like they intimidated by her presence. You see certain women walk in the room And the men start dropping their head because they know she's not malleable, controllable like your average woman. She gonna make him either get in line or one of the other men around her gonna support her to get him in line. And he can sense it, but he don't know what he's sensing. So he won't talk to her. He gonna get away from her. She gonna make him do right. He don't want that. If she gonna make him do right, then that means that he gonna have to be a real man. He gonna have to learn how to do something. He gonna have to make something of himself. And then that's where the conflict in relationships in the modern era come in, because you got a bunch of beta males think they alphas.
That's factual. And I would say that I experienced that, something similar to that, when I open my mouth and speak. Like, based on my looks alone, I'm a petite woman. I'm 100 pounds. But when I open my mouth,
but that energy, that big mama energy. Most of the big mamas, if you look at them, they be the littlest thing with that little bun up there with her little gray streaks in it. $105, and she's still big mama. She's still gonna make you be about your business, or you ain't gonna be able to function around her. And if you act out of line, it's gonna be somebody. The dude might not even know her. Hey man, what she just tell you to get away from her, man? Go and find you some, move around, get you somewhere to go. It's the instincts that we forget that we have drive us to behave a certain way in the presence of certain people. Certain women make men go sexually insane. They can't control themselves. And then you got other women that all the men trying to get away from her. And it ain't because she ugly and unattractive, it's because they scared she gonna make a man up. He can sense the difference.
True. Factual. Okay. May I ask one more question, Unc? I'm sorry, and I'll keep it brief, I promise.
Okay.
Why, in your opinion, why were men created?
Earth was being invaded by a different species, and the women had a meeting and said that if they wanted to be able to fight a physical conflict, they needed men with stronger, denser muscles for the combat. And what made them follow through is they also found that the men would be good for companionship. So they wanted protectors and they wanted lovers.
I'm not surprised that isn't a surprise, I've been asking this question to my spirit team for a while, and I thought I had the answer, but I didn't feel satisfied, and that makes sense. Thank you.
You're welcome. I went through that. I went through that when I was going through the "what the hell am I here" phase. What I'm here for? Yeah. So when you keep asking yourself, you're gonna find the answer wherever it's at. And you might, just because you ask don't mean you're gonna like the answer.
I know that part. I definitely know that.
Yeah, a lot of people want the answer to be pleasing to them. It's not always like the worst thing I found out is they look like us, but they ain't us. That hurt my feelings so bad. I mean, that cut me to the bone marrow.
I think I cried when I found that out.
I was too hurt to cry.
Understood.
I was too hurt to cry. I was just like, this is unbelievable. And they standing next to us the whole time, and they the problem.
But it makes sense. Like when I truly, it was like, of course it makes sense. Man. But thank you, thank you for taking my call. I can't see you, it's a black screen, but I'm glad I get to talk to you.
Oh, well, I can see you clear. You can look at
Yeah, I
it on
can't.
you can look at it on the replay though. It should come up on the replay. I don't know why it's
Okay.
blank over there, but I am
The
in
last time.
Instagram. I am in Instagram jail though.
Well, that makes sense. And I don't think they really like me because of the stuff I be looking and asking questions on. Because the last time I tried to get in your live, they kept blocking me.
I know. I just tried to let you in like 3 or 4 times before I let the brother in a minute ago. And
I knew it. I knew
yeah.
because I kept seeing it acting up. I was like, they on this bull. But let me stop. All right. Thank you so much.
All right, sweetie. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Love you, Unc.
All right.
Bye.
Yeah, they're infiltrators. I mean, what make this brother gonna come in? I'll try somebody else. Into wisdom. Wisdom is justified her children. Maybe she didn't slip up. Hey, sweetie, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good.
I'm just
You got a
anxious.
question?
I have no question. I'm just anxious to speak with you and
Oh,
happy
okay.
to
Well,
see you.
what's on your mind?
I'm at work actually, but I took the opportunity because I've been waiting for you to come live and I haven't seen you. And I kept saying, "Where's Uncle Rod?" And look at you. You pop up today when I'm actually at work. Absolutely love you.
Thank you. I've been here. Just been I came back. I had to decompress from my trip and I had to get my spiritual download so I can know which direction to move next.
Okay. Understandable.
I was
Well, I just
told
want to
today to
say,
get on live.
oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to say I love you. You're one of my favorite Scorpios. And
Thank you.
I'm gonna continue to listen to your Q&A.
Okay, sweetie.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Bye.
Okay, let's see who next. I cannot too. Man, this would be funny if Tupac popped up on this one. He's God.
Hey, what's up, my brother? Salute, OG. What's
You
good, man?
got it, baby. You got it. I like your heavy voice, man. That reminds me of when men was men.
Thank you, man. I spoke to you one time. It's been a while, man, but I know you speak to a lot of people and
I
stuff.
think I remember you though.
Okay, yeah, I drive the truck,
Oh yeah, yeah.
but yeah. But yeah, so the sister that you was talking to, that you just answered a question about the how the women made the men and stuff like that. I've been really studying Akhenaten for probably like the last several years, but I've been making breakthroughs all the time. But anyway, I kind of had a theory about why he portrayed himself with the female parts, and I was kind of thinking that he was more portraying the divine feminine or the superiority of the female based on like what you were just saying in response to the sister's question, like and trying to show people that that and also I was thinking that maybe the divine feminine is it's not necessarily like male or female. It's like genderless,
Oh,
but it just so happens that since females can make their own child if they have the chi energy in the sacral chakra, then maybe the divine feminine just appears to be a woman, and that the males and females as they are today have the same type of length of progression. You know what I mean? But anyway, I just want to know what you think about that.
I want you to try something on and see how it feels. You ever occurred to you that Akhenaten had himself depicted as an androgyny to show you that he derived his power from the matriarchs?
Okay.
The
Okay.
term Pharaoh is feminine. It means,
Okay.
and by inference, it's referring to the woman as the light of the house.
Okay.
It's referring specifically to who's ever sitting on the queen seat is seated as the reigning Isis, also known as Mary. Hail Mary,
Exactly.
Mother of God, blessed art thou
Exactly.
among women. Ta Mary is the land of Mary, which is the land of Isis, which is what we call the Africa, the motherland. But it's really not. America is the true motherland, with the original first temple of Isis was in the Grand Canyon.
Word. Word.
So
Yeah, that's deep.
Hatshepsut wore a beard. She was a matriarch that came into power off of her father's line. So the priests say, how do we leave for posterity a way for them to know that Hatshepsut was the heir off her father's side? And they say, put her in a beard. In the South,
Damn.
we got a turn. Big Mama got on man shoes. That means the shit about to go down right now. She addressing a serious matter. If it get more serious than that, we say Big Mama got on man shoes and Big Mama got Big Papa gun. That means everybody mount up. It's time to tear this mother up. But we don't use those terms no more. But they still in the culture where we'll hear it from time to time in a movie. We might run across it in a book. And we be like, why do that sound familiar? Because it used to be like a battle cry. When the little kids in the house, the uncles is working all day some of them in the barn, some of them in the field, some of them out hunting. So when they when Big Mama go in to address a matter and she put on man shoes, that's so the little kids can go tell all the uncles, Big Mama got on man shoes. That means drop what you're doing. There's something going on. And if they see her with Big Papa gun and they run out there and tell them uncles, Big Mama got on man shoes and she got Big Papa gun, they all grabbing they firearms. They know what's going down.
True indeed. True indeed. Yeah, that's dope, man. Just one last little question. Like I felt like I was working on a book, but I really wasn't. Because it's just more of me contemplating.
You're
But
working on the book. It's
I
called your
tuned
book of
in.
life. Whatever you put in it, it's your book.
Exactly. I had subscribed to the Billy Carson channel, and I was actually watching some of his stuff. He got this Egyptian mystery school. It's pretty cool. But like just for one split second on the screen, it had these the keys to Orion or the keys to Sirius. I forget which one. But one of the points was activating the 7 chakras. And that's part of like the thing I've been contemplating on as far as like putting together not only the chakras, but the planets as well as the 7 sins and the 7 virtues, connecting all that together. And so, when I was looking through through all the info and stuff. They said that on Billy Carson's channel, and some other guy said that this was referred to back in the day as the seven snakes, and it just made it have all of that, all of its individual things encompassed in it. And I remember you spoke one time about the importance of the seven virtues, and so basically, I just want to. I feel like that is extremely important that everybody kind of get this, because I feel like in the story of Jesus, he said, the basics were love your neighbor and then love God, basically. But I feel like one layer deeper than that would come your seven, right? Just to go right past that, and I feel like that should be on display just as important as, if people are, there's a lot of Christians out here. I come from a Christian family, and so, stuff I talk about, they done rejected that my whole life. I'm used to it. But I think that that's just the next layer of understanding as far as spirituality, because for it to say that it's one of the keys to Sirius, I feel like there's some type of magical type of powers associated with imbuing yourself with, you can say, the values, and the values will give you the strength to perform the virtues. And then that'll pretty much have a karmic effect on you, to where in India, they call the superpowers the cities, HICDHIS, the cities, which would be a supernatural power, but it could be any accomplishment. And so how you start getting the cities as a byproduct of the presence of God, right? And so I think that this seventh snake thing is extremely important. And I guess I just wanted to know what you thought about that, like filtering it through you, you know what I'm saying?
So that's the Nagus spirit.
Okay.
The Nagus are called Ethiopian rulers. But we forget that Ethiopia also encompassed India. India was once called Eastern Ethiopia.
That's a major key, brother. Damn. That's
right.
A major
so
key.
the reason why is both of them is the land of Enki. Enki is he ruled the Absu, which is sub-Saharan Africa, going up to Ethiopia, and then he ruled over India and the connecting lands between it's through Iran going into India, right? So those was the lands of Enki. The Dravidians of the Afro-wearing Dravidians of India is the original royal family of India. They're the real Aryans. They call them Dravidians or the Untouchables, and that's because Enlil took over and put his melanated, straight-haired sons and daughters on the throne to take the power from Enki. That was all part of the Babylonian conquest of the earth, the Vimanas Wars, the Vedic Wars, and the wars of the Great Atlan that was drawn into those wars.
Hold on, that I just wanted to say that explains the whole caste system, right? They have it not only in India, but it's all over the world. Where, because I've been to India before, about 10 years ago, and I saw the blackest dark people. You know what I'm saying? Like
some
the
of
blackest.
them purple. Some of them purple.
Like, I'm gonna send you a picture a little bit later, but this lady was so dark, it was crazy. But there's a lot of dark skinned people know that, but I'm just saying I've been there to see that. But
the shocker comes when they find people me and your complexion with straight hair and slanty eyes in China.
Yeah, they there.
Yeah, they in the Philippines too.
Yeah, and it explains, like, if you talk about Akhenaten, the priesthood of Amun, right? I feel personally like that was the
Akhenaten
whatever
was the
you,
priesthood of the I-10.
yeah, he was going against them, and I
He was
just
going
feel like
against the
if
ones who wanted to keep the God self unknown to the human. That's the Amun priesthood. And if they keep the God self concealed from the human won't never aspire to a God-like potential, right? It's a thinking man's game. So you give them recreation and sport to distract them from the development of the self in the intellectual and spiritual capacity, and you get them to focus on their physical and sexual prowess. You take them from higher chakra resonance to lower chakra frequencies, and then you teach them to keep incanting Amen or Amun,
Mhm.
which tells the inner God to remain hidden. And that's why in the book it says, shine your light into the world. What good is a candle if it's under a basket, right? Because you hiding your light. They telling you about the Amun spell, but they not telling you what it is.
so
So
every
when you go to
time we say
church,
that amen,
yeah,
where it's a spell
right.
invoking in Lil basically,
Well, it's
and
not
or whatever.
invoking. It's binding. It's a binding spell on the self.
Damn, damn.
You putting yourself in a conjure. You telling yourself to keep your God concealed from the world because the world is not ready to receive the God being. So,
Hmm.
so you have to keep yourself in that spell till somebody come along and say, Amun me to keep your inner God hidden. I tend me to let your inner God be seen as the sun at high noon.
Exactly, exactly. And so that's why I latched on to that name a long time ago because I just want to put that energy out there. Um, I just feel like this organized religion has been twisted, just like back in that day. Those different netarus that they had, I think that their true meaning had been forgotten because they are aspects of God, but I think they was twisting the game on the people, and the people were confused with all these guys, and so that's why I think the family and all Queen Ty and all them saw that, and I think that that's why he did that, went back to one God, because these different aspects of it, y'all don't even understand what that even means. Y'all just buying trinkets, and it's a market going on. The priests are rich and all this type shit going on, right?
Right. That's
But
all.
so I
That's all money magic. Those are rituals that they do. That's why they take up collections in church after you
damn,
pay the tax man.
damn,
So this is why the priesthood stay wealthy and the commoners stay poor. Between the tax man and the priest, about 70% of your income is being consumed. That ain't even counting inflation yet. So
exactly,
really, we living on less than 1% of what we supposed to be living on.
damn. Yeah, you were the first person that introduced me to that term of Babylonian money magic, and
Yeah,
it, it,
people
it
think I be making it up until you look it up.
it's real, and it goes deeper than just what we see as having money or not having money, or these. No, it's actually like spells and stuff. Like we don't even know like what money really is. Like it goes deeper. So when you introduced me to that term, it made me think about money different. You know what I'm saying? And it's way deeper than just the your bank account or the paper. It's way deeper than that shit. And that's why they got them faces on the denominations and shit. That's deep too. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
invoking the spirit of the dead.
Man, yeah.
That's called necromancy. Incorporated
Ah, shit.
into money magic to reinforce the power of it. You ever heard of a book called The Richest Man in Babylon?
No.
Look it up. It's The Richest Man in Babylon. The richest man in Babylon is a glimpse into Babylonian money magic.
Mm, damn. Yeah, I'm
Jews
about to
been
look at that.
teaching it ever since the captivity of the so-called Jews in Israel.
Uh-huh.
This is, I mean, not in Babylon. The Babylonian captivity, they wrote the money magic, the sex magic, and the blood magic in the Talmud and the Mishnah. And this is why
Damn.
they don't give it to converts. Converts only get the Torah. the law, right? Because the law is how they keep the other operational rituals secret. They use the law as the prevailing influence on the conduct of the people as a control of the goyim, the chattel, the Lulu
Damn.
Amalu.
Damn.
They talk about all this stuff in the Sumerian tablets, but most people will overlook it because the way that they talk, they didn't talk like we talk.
Okay.
So when we translating, a whole lot of information is getting lost in translation. When they talking about um, the cows was too loud, they talking about the women, the matriarchs. They was referring to as the heifers, and when Enlil was saying they was too loud because they telepathy, that he couldn't stop them from telepathically riding because they control the mitochondrial, and the mitochondrial frequency is where the human hive is linked through. That's why you have to be approved by women in order to receive your telepathic right to communicate in the women's hive. It's a lot of women gotta approve you in order to initiate you into the telepathic communication among the sisterhood. Men, it's difficult for men to get in because we got that masculine bravado, and we not always balanced because of it. Because under the patriarchy, we taught to rule. Masculine is to rule with an iron fist. That's not what masculine is, right?
Right.
We know that the
Right.
feminine is love and compassion. The masculine is discipline and order.
Mm.
If you put them together, your discipline and your order is tied to the love and the compassion. Therefore, you can be better at communicating across gender barriers where you don't have the same relationships problems that the masculine that's influenced by the patriarchy have. And this is why you see it looked like we just started having relationships 20 years ago because everybody complaining about the relationship. The problem is in the relationship, there is no relations. Nobody can relate to the other person because we taught to see only our perspective. So when you start studying the communication of men and women, you find that men communicate with bravado and women communicate more from compassion until you piss them off. Then they communicate with vile venom.
It's like
And
that
that's when,
small dot in the yin and yang.
yeah. So the proper balance is for a man to find the female that can complement where he weak, and he can complement where she weak, and they making agreements to just work together. And the love is going to grow from that union naturally. And you can't, it don't matter where you get her from. It matters about if you can help her to see her gifts as a divine feminine versus the curse of being a feminist patriarchal influence woman. The doctrine is different, the communication is different, and the understanding between the genders is different when you operate from those higher standards. But before you can hold somebody else to them, you got to hold yourself to them first. And that's where everybody dropped the ball because they want everybody else to be accountable, but they don't want to be accountable. I can hold you accountable, but you can't hold me accountable.
Damn.
It's double standards. The double standard is the direct result of the patriarchy, because the patriarchy recognized that the feminine is necessary for the future of a species, but they try to dominate the feminine so that they control the direction that the species go that benefit them.
Right.
So it's a using game. It's a sweetheart swindle.
But see, that's why I was saying that divine feminine is like not even male or female, because I feel like when you go into male and female, now you're talking polarity and gender, which they're defined by their opposites. So it's like the woman is the receiver while the man is the giver. But then on the higher level, on the singularity, it's like neither applies to neither. And so I feel like when women fell, like you were explaining in that last answer you gave that lady, it's like they had to decide to make men because of conflict happened. But if we're in a state of ultimate peace, there's no need for men or women, just that the divine feminine appears as a woman because she's able to conceive her own child, and so she needs breasts and hips, etc. And it goes back to Akhenaten's portrayal of himself. But anyway, go ahead. My bad, dog.
Yeah. So the divine masculine is the perfect complement to the divine feminine. It's like sex energy and spirit energy is twins. One goes up and the other goes down. Sex energy draws you to your root chakra. Spirit energy draws you to your crown chakra. So you're running up two channels in your span, one on the left, one on the right.
Okay.
Right? So when you are a man by nature, your goal is to be in tune spiritually, which is on your left side, where your severity is. You have to control it. Whereas the feminine is her compassion. She got to control so she's not overly weak.
Okay. I got you.
So it's all about finding the balance at the end of the day. The law of Mach, right? If you go to the Kabbalion and you look at the Hermetic principles, one of them is called the law of gender. The law of gender had to be, that's a contract. It's a contract that the women wrote in order for men to be here in the physical form. They had to create a gender opposite by description and by analysis. So while we going through all of these changes, the mitochondria is the over energy that's scanning Y chromosomes. This is why a woman can store genetic information from all the men she slept with, and when she get ready to produce a child, she can draw all of the best traits from all of those different DNAs to manifest in one man's child.
Wow. So you really don't even have to like conceive at that moment. You can just save it up. That's wild.
Yeah. So she's creating a genetic database. She's creating a genetic database. This is why young girls a lot of time be promiscuous, because they want to produce a certain type of man. So they collect genetic materials from varying different men, and then her mitochondria is naturally scanning every Y chromosome that she assimilates, and they store it in the queen's chamber in the brain.
So that means that for any of us men out here, if we have a child with a woman with our sperm, there's still through her going to be the effects of all the men that she's been with.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why it was so much emphasis by the patriarchs put on a woman being a virgin at marriage, because they don't want any contributing DNA to their offspring. They only want their DNA.
Damn. So it's deeper than just people being worried about a body count. It's actual information that's going into her next birth, regardless of what man does it. That's a key right there.
Yeah.
But I don't want to take too much of your time up, man. I just wanted to chop it up with you, man, and I really do appreciate it.
For sure. Peace, God. Appreciate you coming up.
Okay. Hey, well, namaste, man.
All right. I'm gonna take the next caller.
Yes, sir.